Tonight at 11, a rare high-risk weather day in the Carolinas has turned deadly. Winds topping 70 miles per hour ripped through our area, knocking out power to tens of thousands. Egg-sized hail reported in some spots, and that was just round one. Round two is almost here, so you still need to be weather aware. I'm Vanessa Rufus. A special edition of WCNC Charlotte News at 11 starts right now. And there isn't much time to recover from this afternoon's storm damage as we are tracking that second set of severe storms just northwest of our area. Live look tonight from the campus of App State. If you're in the mountains, pay special attention. You might have been spared in round one, but round two is knocking on your door. At this hour, more than 70,000 Duke Energy customers are without power. Gaston County, one of the hardest hit areas this afternoon. In fact, more than a third of customers there are still in the dark tonight. We've also confirmed one person died in the storm in Gaston County after a tree fell on a car. WCNC Charlotte's Julia Kaufman will have more on that in just a moment, but we want to start with Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich, who is tracking this next round of severe weather. Brad.
Yeah, that lull came in as we expected, but also unfortunately as we expected, round number two has developed pretty quickly to our west. We've seen numerous tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings in parts of Tennessee. Now, what's somewhat good news, and I know it seems weird, the storms are coalescing into a bigger cluster. That doesn't mean it's going to deter the risk of storms moving in, but it means the tornado threat could be lessened. I still think there's a small chance we're going to see some tornado warnings in the overnight, but what's likely going to happen is we're going to end up seeing another long-lived straight line wind event with heavy rain and obviously some cloud to ground lightning. This is the track I just put out on the leading edge of this, putting it forward at 40 miles per hour to give you a rough idea. So Hickory 1:30, Greenville 2 o'clock, Charlotte between 3 and maybe 4 o'clock, depending on the speed. But one thing we've noticed from the storms today, they've been moving faster over time. When they produce strong winds, they tend to pick up a little bit of speed. So this is going to happen roughly in the middle of the night. You already see the severe thunderstorm warnings and yes, some tornado warnings still in northern Georgia. So we're going to have to watch this carefully overnight. Storm Prediction Center is anticipating a 60% chance of a new severe thunderstorm watch or tornado watch being issued just to our west. So that could come out at any minute. So overnight, I expect the mountains will be impacted between now and 2 a.m. Most of the Piedmont between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. and then the Sandhills between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Coming up, I'll show you the latest storm track and future casts as we plan for this second wave of storms during the overnight hours. Okay, we'll check in shortly. Brad, thank you. And at this hour, we're learning both Gaston County and Cleveland County schools will be closed tomorrow to students. In both districts, it will be an optional workday for teachers. This is because of the impacts from the weather, power outages, internet outages, and impassable roads. If additional closings come in, of course, you can find them at WCNC.com/closings. Now, as we prepare for that second round of storms, we are following breaking news in Gaston County. We mentioned that today has turned deadly. We're learning one person died after a tree fell on their car. WCNC Charlotte's Julia Kaufman is in Gaston tonight. What have you learned?
Vanessa, I'm at Gaston County Emergency Management, where officials say they got about 1,200 calls for service this afternoon related to the storm. One of those calls was to this scene we're showing you on South New Hope Road near Belmont. Now, a neighbor sent me these photos you're seeing, showing the huge tree that fell onto a car with two people inside. Officials say the driver, Jacqueline Morrison Donald, from York, South Carolina, died on scene. The man riding with her, Tyrone Edward Lee, is at the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. I spoke with a man who lives right next to where that tree fell. He says he and his son came running out to help once they realized there was a car underneath it, but they couldn't do anything because of live power lines on the car.
I wish I could have done something. You know, it's the bad thing that you feel like your hands are tied when there's power and you just, afraid you would lose your life trying to help somebody. So we didn't even attempt it. We was waiting on some rescue person to.
It's a sad example of the widespread devastation people across our viewing area experienced today. I mean, take a look at this house in Northwest Charlotte. I spoke with the man who was inside when that tree came crashing down. He has a gash on his forehead, but luckily was able to move away as it was falling, and he is okay. But the house, the fire department told him it's uninhabitable. So now he's looking for somewhere to stay tonight. So as people grapple with all sorts of loss, officials are warning to stay inside and off of the roads tonight, as of course we expect that another round of storms to roll in soon. Vanessa.
Julia, thank you so much. And we'll remind folks as well that we heard in Gaston County that a shelter has opened courtesy of the Red Cross on West Franklin Boulevard. It's the Adult Recreational Center. Our team of meteorologists and journalists were spread out across the area this afternoon, tracking the storm and the damage left behind. They filed these reports tonight.
I'm KJ Jacobs in Gastonia. Strong winds damaged utility poles. One crashed into this building. A truck is toppled over and trees are snapped. Tonight, crews are working to clean it all up.
Well, earlier today, strong winds and heavy rain blew through York County, and that includes here along Crawford Road. This was one of the hardest hit areas 2 weeks ago when that hailstorm came through. And you can still see some of the damage that's here. Now, people in the area are still trying to pick up the pieces from that storm, all while they may get hit again tonight with more rain and wind.
And parts like Harrisburg here are still dealing with some of the aftermath following those strong winds and heavy rain that hit parts of North Carolina. So for example, what we're talking about here is in Harrisburg, there's a handful of intersections, including Moorhead Road and Concord Parkway, that are dealing with traffic lights that are out. Now, beyond just those traffic lights, we're also seeing a ton of debris and even tree branches along the roadways. So if you are going to be on the roadways, make sure that you proceed with caution. And no word on when all of the traffic lights in this area are expected to be back up and fully operational. In Harrisburg, Miles Harris, WCNC Charlotte.
And really, this is a sight our crews have seen across the area. As you see here, trees down, power out, cars damaged, and families terrified. We spoke with one Charlotte mother who was just looking to keep her daughter safe as the storms rolled through.
Me and my daughter, we were laying on the couch, and I heard nothing but just bangs everywhere, and I was terrified. So I grabbed my daughter and I called my fiance, and I was like, I don't know what is going on. I think trees are falling, and I took my daughter to the bathroom with me, and we just sat in the bathroom, not really knowing what was going on outside yet.
And so far today, we've seen downed trees and limbs, lots of debris, power lines, as we mentioned. Our team coverage continues tonight with cleanup in West Charlotte.
This is Austin Walker in West Charlotte right now, where cleanup is underway after heavy storms blew through this area. To show you how fast and hard that wind was today, we can actually see that cleanup happening right now. A tree has fallen on top of two cars, as you can see right here, and neighbors are rallying together already trying to clean up those pieces. Chainsaws are out trying to get those trees off those cars. Again, a lot of the area looks a lot like this, and that is indicative of what we saw across the area. Many power lines down as of right now. We're seeing reports in Gastonia as well as Belmont. A lot of loose trees and limbs all across the roadway. Normally the streets are in this area pretty clean, but now it is littered with leaves and branches and trees. That being said, we are continuing to follow the updates about the cleanup efforts across the area, so stick with WCNC Charlotte for the latest. For now, in West Charlotte, Austin Walker, WCNC Charlotte.
And as cleanup efforts continue, we want to see how your neighborhood is faring. When it is safe to do so, please snap a picture or take a video. You can send it to us using the Near Me feature inside our mobile app. It helps our team of meteorologists better understand the storms coming through our area.